Um, Thank you, Jas, for the congrats. I've been working on it since I was like 15, so like knowing that it's being like finally done is nice. Especially like when for me when I was 15, it was just me escaping like a really bad relationship, and writing was just my way of not dealing with anything. Um, but no, the first two Fallout games, not many people have played simply because, realistically speaking, they came out in the early fucking 90s and they're really not that great. Like, they don't hold up well. At least I don't think they do. Um, you can get them on Steam. There's Fallout, Fallout 2, and Fallout Tactics or something. Um, they're top-down RPG type games, adventures. Both of them involve you gathering water for your what's it called? Your vaults. Give a preview. When the book's closer to being done, I probably am gonna like release a some form of preview for people. But until then, no, because we're like still editing it all and everything. Come on, come on. There we go. Nice to see the escapism turn to something productive. Yeah, well, it was already something productive. Like, because I was working on it daily, I was constantly developing it. Um, and there's Wasteland 2, of course, which is kind of a direct. Yeah, Wasteland 2 is Brother to Steel. That's the one I was thinking. Yeah, there's like a lot of side games for the old Fallout games, but if you really just want to do it, just play 1 and 2. And even then, I don't recommend them. I don't think they held up well, but that's me. I am fully aware that everyone has their own opinion. I know some people that love the original 2, whereas I personally can't stand them. Is a nod. Yeah, it is more of a nod than a indirect sequel, but you could argue that it was made, you know. Another one of Ulysses' logs. Get to listen to him talk some more. Well, it was made by the people. Yeah, it was made by the same people. Yes. But it was more of a nod than it was a like sequel. But that's just because yeah. But still, yeah, like the original Fallout's are. I don't know. I personally don't like them, but I'm kind of a snob when it comes to graphics, as you guys can tell by games I play on here. Like I modified Final Fantasy VII to make the characters have actual character textures, not that weird ass 1997 version of their character models, because it bugged me. I admit I'm a graphic snob when it comes to games, so I couldn't play the original Fallout's. It was crowdfunded. Oh, I did not know it was. The more you know. Look at Professor Gamertron with all the fucking knowledge here. Blocks. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII's block characters is just the worst. I hate them. It's why I can't wait for the remake. And I know a lot of people are like, no, the remake's gonna suck. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love it. I will.
Dad! Hey, Dad! Check out this robot I found.
Careful, Tommy. I've never seen a robot like that before. It might be dangerous.
He's not dangerous. Look, he's hurt. Can we take him home, Dad? Maybe Mom can fix him.
I don't know, son. What if someone comes looking for it?
Please? He looks so lonely. Maybe if Mom fixes him, he can help her out around the garage.
All right, boy. But if he breaks anything, it's coming out of your allowance.
Yay! He'll be just like Ralphie. Only this one's not a toy.
I'm getting. Yeah, exactly. They finally made a good Final Fantasy again with the 50. Personally, a lot of people I know said 15 wasn't that great. The problem with Final Fantasy, and this is like where it becomes a fan thing, there's the purist who don't like anything past 10. because after 10 they started changing like the formula, the story style. Like after 10 they made a lot of changes in what made Final Fantasy. Then there's the newer fans who say that every game is great, nothing is wrong, you're just being too elitist. If you like the game, that's power to you. I haven't played 15. I have not watched anything from 15. I personally avoided it because I've been wanting 15 since it was 13 Versus back in 2007. So I've been locked away and not touching it. From what I heard, it's not bad. It's just not as good as we expected, or what we hoped. Compared to 10, though, 13 was finally a good one. See, I love 10. 10 was my first, and it's my favorite. I personally think that 10 beats 7 in terms of good. But that's because it was my first Final Fantasy. It's going to be my favorite no matter what. It's the standard I play on. Where did this happen? Illinois. So you made... Wait, so that's where you got that plate. The other you, I mean. Where's Chicago? Alright, let's go. Six and 7 were my... 10 was... See, like I said, my personal opinion, except for... What was it? I haven't played a Final Fantasy game I dislike, though. So I personally think the whole, oh, this is terrible, this one was better, or anything like that. In my personal opinion, a lot of those people are comparing one game to another when you can't compare them. I didn't touch 7 until, like, recently. And I'm going to be honest, I love the story, because I had watched Advent Children, I played Dirge of Cerberus and Crisis Core. But my biggest problem with 7, I can't stand the graphics. I really can't. That's my big issue. It's just the graphics that bug me. And that's actually what put me off for so long, was that when I got around to Final Fantasy finally, the PS2 was out, so... I haven't touched any... only ones I've touched are 7. I have to finish it. I finished Disc 1. And after New Vegas, we're going to go back to 7, and all my voice acting is going to come back, and my throat will hate me. I have done a bunch of 12. 10, 10-2, Crisis Core, Dirge of Cerberus, and Dissidias. That's all the ones I've done. I have not done anything other than those. So, for me, I have so much to catch up with. I like most of them. Exactly, I'm with you, Blair Knight. I am all about the story. Maybe just wait till the remake. No, I mean, I started it on stream. I want to finish it. That way, when the remake comes out, I can compare them. 7 is so beloved. I feel I owe it to myself to see both a version I know I'm going to love, the remake, and the original that everyone claims to be the best. If the story remains untouched, it'll be great. From what I heard, they might be changing, Crisis Core ripped your heart out. Yeah, Crisis Core was, just, oh my god. For a prequel, I think it did great. Its main thing was it didn't outdo the main story that it preceded. And it was still good enough to stand on its own. What else? Where is he? Okay, there he is. You mean wait 10 years and get all 3 episodes? Honestly, I'll wait. I don't mind. I will wait to stream it until all the episodes are out. I have no problem waiting, Gamertron. Because when it comes out, I will stream every episode of it and just be like, yo, guess what we're doing? And honestly, from how long it took me to beat the first disc, it took me a week. I don't mind waiting to stream it all in one bit. If that's the case, I don't mind. Exactly, we all waited for a decade before we got 15. I can wait like a year before I get all of 7 remake. It will be worth the wait. You and me both, Blair Knight. I plan on at some point this year, maybe if I actually get time, streaming 358 days, because that's one of the ones I haven't streamed yet. And I have it, so the point of what I'm saying is I hate that they're ripping it apart. I don't even see it like really ripping apart. I still see it as 3 discs, just that we're not going to get all of it at once like before. Really? Oh my god, you son of a bitch. Okay, you son of a... What do you like the most of the New Vegas? Gameplay or story? Honestly, both. I just like New Vegas. I have no complaints. Hey, if it leads to three games of 60 hours... Exactly, yeah, I don't... If it's all 3 can give me 60 hours of, like, gameplay content and I don't get bored, I can care less how long I wait. I'm not sure how they're doing it. If that's how they're doing it, I mean, honestly, I don't care. I really don't. To me, I'll just look at it as, like, I'm buying 3 games. But has the most branching side quest. See, that's why I like New Vegas. The side quest didn't feel out of the way. They all felt like they stemmed from one story. Like, when I first started playing New Vegas, I didn't notice that I was doing side quests half the time. I thought everything I was doing was main quest until I realized I wasn't. It was a lot better than 3, where 3 is just like, this is... It's obvious in 3 that you're doing side quests, because you're looking for them. Whereas in New Vegas, you're just dicking around, and look what happens. It's not going to be that way, though. I just like Square hat. I can understand not having trust. Square has kind of, like, dipped in terms of, like, how much we can trust them. They have been letting us down a bit in the past, and I can understand that. I mean, we can keep bashing Square as long as the bashing is, like, legitimate and not just, you know, stupid bashing. Oh, those are mole rats. Good thing they're on my side. Just more elaborate than 3 and 4. Yeah, it's just a lot more elaborate. That's exactly what it is. I agree. But it's more elaborate in a good way. I don't feel like I have to go out of my way to do these things. I walk from quest to quest, which is nice. Because if I feel like I'm not forced to go find these experience points, I can just go there and, you know, it just happens to be that's the next thing I'm doing. I like it more. It's the little things. Square's being a dick with all microtransactions. No, you know who's really being a dick about microtransactions? The same people who are being dicks about what is it? That's Konami with Metal Gear. Yeah, they're really being dicks. Don't get me wrong; they are just as responsible as Kojima for Metal Gear 5. But I remember playing last Deus Ex for the first time. I actually want to get in the Deus Ex games. I have not heard anything plus or minus for it. I so badly want to give them a try. I have one of them on my Steam account. I need to get the rest. Like, since they first came out, I've always wanted to try the Deus Ex games. Wasteland number 3 is coming out. Ooh! Wasteland number 3 is coming out? Nice. But yeah, Jess, like, Konami's guilty of always being, like, the worst. That's, like, their thing. Oh, I forgot, I didn't do the, and no disintegrations.
The white legs meant to show respect, bribed me for Kaiser's favor, echoing mannerisms and words, showed them tech gap.
So, if you know what that meant, Ulysses just described cultural appropriation. The Whitelegs, in attempt to honor him, appropriated his tribe's braids, and essentially defiled the point of them. As people know, in some cultures, you wear braids for certain reasons, like Native American tribes, like certain people wear their hair a certain way for their culture. The Whitelegs were doing it thinking they were honoring Ulysses, but instead he tried to convey to us it was the exact opposite. It was insulting. It was reminding him of what he lost. They weren't doing it right. They were doing it pretty much offensively. Because they didn't take into account these things had cultural significance. They weren't just braiding your hair. There was purpose. There was history to each braid on a person. Just like Native Americans, how you're not supposed to touch their hair. It's sacred to them. So if you ever needed an example of cultural appropriation, this game just gave it to you. And I like how they did it. They did it very, from the eye of the person who's being appropriated. Not from the person who's like, well, it's just for fashion. Don't get pissed off about it. No, we don't get to say that. If someone says you're appropriating their shit, you're fucking appropriating their shit. They're not saying that you're a bad person. They're just saying, hey, cut it the fuck out. Alright, anything over here? Deus Ex games are great. The microtransactions were just annoying. Alright, well then I will look into them at some point when I actually have, stopped adding more and more games to my I need to stream these lists. I will add Deus Ex to the list and we'll get around to that in the future. Not the near future, because if I say that, I'll never get to it. But the future nonetheless. More flares. Great.